Hey friends, it's Kristen Fagan here with a new episode of Free Spirit Beading, and I'm on my own today. Damien is out and Thomas doesn't usually work on Mondays. I reached out to him, but he had some stuff going on. So I'm here by myself, so I won't be able to do much linking in the video, but I will try my best as I can. But hello. Thanks for joining me today. We did some macrame last week for 4th of July. We made some really cute rola bead macrame 4th of July flower earrings, and they looked kind of like this. So you can go check that video out on the Softflex Company YouTube channel to see the replay. We have it in our macrame playlist, as well as I think the how to make jewelry playlist or something like that. Oh, and the 4th of July. There's a 4th of July playlist of videos too. So you can go check that out, and you can always do it in a different colorway as well. And the technique can be done with all different types of beads, but I used our rolla seed beads for that one. I also showed an example of this little rounded macrame that used rolla beads in the center and then delica beads around the sides. And a few of you said you wanted to see how to make this one too. So that's what we're going to do today. I did this one with Softflex medium beading wire. You could knot all of our beading wire, so it doesn't really matter which type or which diameter you have. You can try macrameing with all of them. They'll just have a little bit different feel, a different thickness, things like that. This one is our Econoflex. This is our hobby craft beading wire. It's only 7 strands on this one, so it's much thinner and it's a little more wiry, but it makes a really cool, like super micro macrame. So I'll show you side by side between the two when we go down to my beading table. But I'm doing them in these sunset colors today. I'm going to do one of the rolla beads in the center, and then I'm using the red rose delica trio that we have over at softflexcompany.com. Both are on sale. We've got a 4th of July sale happening. It's still going on until tomorrow, July 9th at midnight Pacific time. And we are going to definitely go down to my bead mat, Kelly. Just hang on a moment. But yeah, we will definitely go down to the bead mat. I have to bring that camera in still. So just staying with me. So we've got the rolla beads and the delica beads are on sale in our holiday section of the website. You can find them 20% off through tomorrow, July 8th. Let me go ahead and pop that link in here, since I don't have any of my trusty helpers in the background today. I'm going to be running it all. So let's see. Penny's challenge for the day is trying to knit as part of a 2-cat sandwich. Yeah, they're definitely giving you a bit of a creative challenge, aren't they? That's awesome. I love it. Hey, Rosalinda. Hi, Tina. Hi, Dana. Hey, Joyce and Sandy and Debbie and Gal and Anne and Sherry and Kimberly and Vivian. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Becky. Hi, Kim. And if I missed you, hello. Great to see everyone. Thanks, Dana. I know I have to multitask even more than usual today. But we got this. So let me pop up that sale up here just to be clear. It's our 4th of July sale. It's 20% off all of the items in our holidays shop category and our Made in the USA shop category. All you need to do is just add the item to your shopping cart and you'll see that discount applied, no coupon necessary. It does not apply on top of any other order discounts, but it will apply on top of anything that is currently on sale or on closeout. And again, that's good until tomorrow, Tuesday, July 9th at midnight Pacific time. And I do see that a lot of you are entering my giveaway that I've got going on. We've got a giveaway happening on this video. I will choose a winner at the end. You must be here at the end to win. And I'm going to give away our Sunset Bead Strand. We just have only 12 of these left. This is our bead strand that coordinates with the newest monthly kit called Sunset Splendor, which you can still get that kit while supplies last. We're about, I think we're like 55% sold out on that. And that is the kit that we will be opening at the end of the month on the last Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That kit is this one right here. And then I also have our Just Peachy kit, which is what we're going to be using for the Great Bead Extravaganza that is coming up in only another week or so. Not this weekend, but next weekend. So go check it out. And yeah, I'm so excited to have this bead strand. It's even prettier in person than the picture on the website. I will say, like on the website, I feel like some of these amber colors come up a little more yellow and they're really ambery and they've got like a pink flash on them. So really, really pretty. Really pretty. Okay, let me bring in my second camera. And then we can go down to the beading table and see everything here. I also played with some glaze and some diamond glaze to do a sample for you all. I only did it a few moments ago, so I'll show that at the end of the video. Maybe after I choose the winner, we'll take a look at that while we wait for someone to let us know that they're here. And that'll give it a little more time to dry. So new note about our giveaways at the end of the video, we are going to choose a winner and then you will have 3 minutes to let me know that you are here in the comments. And once those 3 minutes are up, if you haven't let me know that you're here in the comments, then I will choose another winner and that first winner will forfeit their prize. And I know sometimes things happen. Sometimes someone comes to the door, there's a package that arrives, things happen with our internet, and I'm sorry if that happens when we're calling the winner, but we decided to put this in place just to make it a little more streamlined and easier, and we don't have too many multiple winners happening since we do giveaways on every single one of our videos, which is 3 times a week, plus bonus videos usually. So it's a lot of giveaways, and we love doing that, and we want to keep doing that. So that just a note to let you know that that's going to happen at the end. Okay, let's go take a look at what's happening at my bead table. I pulled some colors together for ideas for you, and I'll show you what I'm going to be using. So here was my little red, white, and blue sample. And let me see if I can get my So there's my little red, white, and blue sample. And this is using, like I said, our Econoflex hobby wire. This is the cinnamon red color in the medium diameter. Thanks, Melanie. And then this was doing the macrame with the Softflex wire in the medium diameter. So you'll see, if you look at those knots, this one's quite a bit more micro because the wire is a lot thinner. Thinner, thinner. Do you guys hear me okay? I think I touched the microphone when I moved the light, so looks like my sound is on. So the colors I'm going to be playing with today are these sunset colors. It's using the cinnamon red Econoflex for the knotting. And then it's using the 2 of the 3 colors from the red rose delica set. They come with this pink, this purple, and then a red. So in place of the red, I'm using the red wire. This is the trio set that I'm using. And this one is on sale because it's got that nice red in there. You can find this in the holiday section and you'll get 20% off of this trio set. You can also find delicas individually and add those to your cart if you just want to pick up one color. But this is a really fun set. Danielle Wicks put these together for us. So we've got 3 of them. I grabbed this color of the rola beads, which is the travertine on chalk white. And I thought that that kind of had a really fun sunset vibe. So that's what I'm using with the cinnamon red Econoflex. And then some other options, we have this, I think this one's called Arctic Circle maybe, with the blues and the silver. And then I thought white rolla beads would go with that. And then we have a color called Steel Blue in the Econoflex. And the Econoflex is really reasonable to purchase. So it's kind of good for these craftier projects like macrame where you're using a lot more wire and it knots up really nicely. It's just going to be a lot thinner, more micro than the Softflex. So this is a really fun blues colorway. And then the last one we have is this vintage holiday, which is like a deep red, green, and gold. And then we have gold rolla beads. And then this is our Pro Econoflex. So this is still not, we have a gold color in that. So this is still part of our Econoflex line. However, the regular Econoflex that's in the pink label, that has 1x7 strands. The Pro Econoflex has 49 strands. Both of these are made overseas, so they're not a made in the USA product like our other Softflex beading wire and Soft Touch beading wire brands are. So that's one of the big differences there. But the Pro Econoflex is closer to Softflex beading wire in its ability for what it feels, whereas this definitely feels more like a hobby wire. So just a little bit, I don't talk about these brands very often. We've had them for quite a few years and they're kind of considered our hobby brands. They are a lower price point, typically, especially the pink one. Like I said, is good for when you're using a lot of wire for a particular product. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. We're going to be using a crimping plier, a cutter. We'll have our wire, our rolla beads, our delicas, and our macrame board. And an ear wire at the end too. This is the mini macrame board. This thing is wonderful. I love using this for macrame as well as other stringing or knotting projects because you can put things in the notches and just kind of leave them in progress. It's really great. And then I typically tend to use the longer side. I think it goes from here, it's like 0 to 6. And then from here, it is 0 to 9. I typically use the 9-inch side, but since we're doing earrings, I'm going to flip it and use the shorter side, the 6-inch side, so that we don't have to cut quite as much wire because we're not going to need as much for the earrings. I'm going to go ahead and open up my spool, and this, did you see that? This, like I said, this wire is definitely more wiry than soft flex is. So that just sort of jumped right off that spool. When I took off the little plastic casing. So I'm going to cut myself 2 wires that are going to go the entire length of this mini macrame board. So about 8 inches. It is a pretty red color. I will say that the colors in the Econoflex line have a very pretty metallicness to it. They have like a very nice sheen on top. So these are just 2, this steel blue and the cinnamon red. But there's also colors like autumn brown is one, and trying to think of what else. I think we have black and white, autumn brown, cinnamon red, the blue, oh, and a plum, which is a really pretty deep purple. So I'm just going to tuck the wires in these notches, one on one end, one on the other. I cut 2 8-inch strands, and then I'm going to do my stringing wire, which I'll do about 3 times that. So 8, 16, 24, 8. And that should give me plenty to work with. Let me just roll up this wire. Good to keep it clipped. Put your little clip back on there so that you don't have your wire all over the place. So now I'm going to take my stringing, the long strand, and put it underneath these 2 here and find my center. And now I will begin my knotting. I'm going to do 2 square knots, and then I'll add my beads. So I'm going to take my wire and make a loop on my right side, crossing over the 2 middle strands and going out to the left here. Then I'll take the left strand, go on top of that wire that's coming out here, so it's perpendicular, go under that and under the 2 middle, and then pull through the loop and then cinch that down. That is 1/2 of my square knot, because we're going to do the same thing now on the left side. So we'll take this wire, we'll make a loop, go over our 2 middle wires, have that wire go straight out to the right. Then we'll take the wire on the right on top of this wire here, and then underneath that wire as well as the middle and through the loop on the left side. And then we'll just go ahead and cinch that down. And I will come up closer so you can see that that is 1 complete square knot. If you need to, you can move it up if you wanted the whole space, but I don't need it. I can actually leave this where it is and just have that extra space to play with later when I'm finishing the design. So I'll just leave it where it is. And then we'll do the same thing again because I want 2 full square knots. So loop on the right, take the left over, under, through the loop you made, and then cinch it, and then loop on the left, over, under, and through that loop you made, and cinch it. And then I usually just tug on the tails to kind of lock it back into place. So now we're ready to add our beads. I'm going to go ahead and open up some of these rolla beads. And then, like I said, I'm using 2 out of the 3 colors from this pack. This is called the Red Rose Tea pack, and it comes with these 3 colors of delicas, which are size 11 delica beads. And I'm going to use these 2 because my red color is being picked up from the actual strand. So a nice pinky coral color. And then Zach is taking a cooking class while she's hanging out with us. Definitely way to multitask, Zach. So to add my beads, I'm first going to pop off these 2 strands that were my center strands that were notched into the board here. And I'm going to add on 1 rolla bead. And then I'll go ahead and cinch that back down. And then I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the coral color delica beads on each strand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on 1. Oh, did I lose one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then you can use the little side notch over here to anchor it down if you want to, if you're afraid to lose those beads. And then I'll go ahead and do 6 on the other side. Oh, I definitely lost those. I knocked them right off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2 more. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and do those square knots again. So I've got 6 of those coral beads on the right, 6 of those coral beads on the left, and 1 rolla bead in the center. And then I'm just going to come back to doing 2 square knots again. So I'm going to do the same thing we did in the beginning. Loop on the right, take the left side over, under, through the loop you made. And then cinch that down. It'll kind of start to pop back up a little bit because of the tension, but that's okay. Once you get your second knot in there, it'll flatten back out. So loop on the left, over, under, through the center. And then if you want, you can kind of tug that first and then come in with your square knot. And then we'll do this again on the right side and on the left side. And you can either leave it with some space or you can scrunch them up a little bit, whichever works best for your design. If you want the design to go out a little bit and your knots to be closer to the roller bead, or if you want to give them a little more space. I think on the first one, I think I gave it a little space for the roller bead to kind of move up and down. I am using wire. Nissa asked, are you using wire, Kristen? I am. I'm using our Econoflex medium diameter craft hobby beading wire. It is cinnamon red color. And you can use any of the Softflex products, any of the colors, any of the diameters. They will all knot. And you can go ahead and give it a try with any of them. but that's the one I'm using today. And then if you check out our macrame playlist on YouTube, you'll see some projects using the other beading wires too. Okay, so then I have my next rolla bead that I put up on those center strands, and I'm going to do 6 of the purple color. On the right side, and 6 of the purple color on the left side. And then we come back and start our square knot again. Loop over through the center and through that loop we made and cinch it down, and then loop on the left, over, under, through the loop we made, cinch it down, and then we're going to go back to the right, and we're going to go back to the left. And now we've got 2 of our little links that we've got going on here. How many do I have total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I start with a coral and I end with a coral over here. Debbie, for stretch bracelets, we sell a product called Stretch Magic. And that is not something we manufacture, but it's a product that we really like out of all the stretchy products. It's the one that we have always preferred and we carry, and you can find it at softflexcompany.com. And then if you see any of our videos with stretch bracelets, I think we have a stretch playlist also on YouTube. You'll see how we use it, because we use that in all of those stretch projects. Hi, Ginny. It's just me today. Thomas and Damien are both out. Usually Damien's here with me on Mondays, and Thomas is here on Wednesdays. But Damien's not in the office today, so I'm here. I'm here on my own, which I know normally they are much better at sharing links and stuff of what I'm doing, but I'll just have to say, go visit Softflex. Oh, I think I went on the wrong side. Go visit softflexcompany.com. I don't have the specific links. I could get them, but it'll take me a moment in each time. So how did I know that I did the wrong way? Well, when you do a square knot, your design will lay flat. And if you do a spiral knot, which is basically the same thing, you're just staying with one side. You're always looping on the one side instead of going back and forth like I'm doing here. And that's when you'll start to see your bracelet twist. So that's one way to know if you're making this and you start to see that your design is twisting, you probably are doing 2 knots on the same side versus one on the right, one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, and that will keep it flat. So that was how I noticed that I went the wrong way, is because I felt that the bracelet was starting to tilt a little. So I just undid that knot before I pulled it tight, and then went back and did the other side. Now, if you do this with Softflex beading wire, you can pretty easily get that knot out. I ended up having to do that on last week's video, and it does bend the wire a little bit because you've pulled a nice tight knot into it. But it doesn't really phase it too much, because once you get it straightened out and keep going, you won't really notice. You will notice with this wire that the bend will be a little more dramatic. Let me take a little piece here. So for example, if I was going to bend this wire and say I just really squished it tightly, like that is going to be a pretty significant bend that will stay there. Now, if you're doing macrame with it, that's probably fine, because like I said, with the design, as you're knotting, it'll just work itself out and you won't really even see it. But if you're doing a stringing project and you really pinch it, that is going to leave quite a little mark in your design. So that is one way how it's a little different. Softflex is a little more forgiving and doesn't make that as dramatic as that one does. There's 4, 5, 6. A soft touch is our premium wire. It actually goes through a whole nother process to make it the softest and most flexible. So it will be even more supple than the Softflex is, about 50% more flexible actually. And you can still knot it just like this. It doesn't come in all the fun colors, but if you are stringing it and you're covering all the wire up and you want like the most softest, most flexible looking wire, strongest, then Soft Touch is your go-to for that. I typically use Soft Flex Medium the most. I know a lot of people love Softflex Fine. I feel like you kind of get a similar feeling to Fine with our Soft Touch in the heavier diameter. So if you like that the Softflex Fine is a little looser, for lack of a better description, or a little more flexible than the medium is, you'll probably find that Soft Touch in the heavier diameters feels a lot like Softflex Fine. They're all like subtle differences, right? But depending on what you create the most and how you like things to feel and lay, that is what's going to determine which brand becomes like your go-to brand. Hello, hello. Better late than never. We're just knotting away over here. I got two more to do, 2 more in this pattern, and then we'll take it off and I will show you how to turn it into the earring. And all of my seed beads are getting all mixed up. Pour out a few more of each just to make it a little easier to pick them up. Is everyone doing a lot of indoor activities with this heat wave happening? I know that I spent a lot of time indoors this weekend. I ended up doing a ton of cleaning. I always feel like this time of year is like a good time to clean out the cabinets for me and all that kind of stuff because it's just too hot. So I dropped some stuff off at the thrift store yesterday and of course went in and shopped too. So I ended up dropping off and bringing new stuff home. It's hard not to do that though. At least they were different things than the things I dropped off. It's not done with us, right, Dana? Dana says, I know it's not as hot here as where you are, but I'm done with this heat, but it's not done with us. I know. No, I feel like so much more of the country is experiencing an Arizona summer than usual. I mean, we're used to this. It's a bummer, but we are used to it. It's definitely our least favorite time of year. Can't do a whole lot, but most of the country doesn't tend to experience it as much as they are this year, it seems. I went out and met a friend for coffee on Saturday in the morning. And then by the time I got home, it was kind of afternoon time and I was so wiped out. I ended up falling asleep on the couch and took a nap because that's what the heat does. It just knocks you out. Makes you slug along. Oh, Rosalinda, yes. That's where you need to be. I'm so glad you got out of Vegas and were able to go visit San Diego and be in that gorgeous summer weather. That's what I need. Did I do two on the same side again? I felt a little twist. Let's see. No, that seems like all right. It seems like I was right there. Okay. Now you're back in Vegas. Yes, Vegas is like us. Like they definitely have a very similar summer to us here in Arizona. Okie dokie. Artichoke. I'm just gonna my hands are slipping a little. So let me just pull that last one nice and tight since it's the end. And then I could take this off our macrame board. Look at how cute. So this ended up, I love that this has some measurements on here. This ended up being about 3 inches, this piece here. So if you wanted to make a bracelet, you probably would need to double, maybe just slightly more than double what we've got going on here. So now let's finish this beauty and turn it into a cute little hoop earring or teardrop shaped earring. So we're going to need 3 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes for each earring and 1 ear wire. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. And you'll need a pair of crimping pliers I astoundingly was able to use my magical crimping pliers with this project. I was surprised and delighted. so, so I'm going to use those, but you can use any crimpers. That would be good for the 2 by 2 millimeter size. And first thing we'll do here is we will crimp up these ends. So I'm going to take this side first. This one's got, the bottom has 4 strands. The top has 2 strands. It's just the way it always works out. So I'm going to take this one first crimp and I'm going to slide it over all 4 strands. Come all the way down to my knot. Pull it till I get it as close as possible to my knotting. And I also like to try and make sure it's in there, it's on there nice and straight, like all of the wires. You can pull on each of these individually if you need to straighten anybody out. And then I'm going to use my magical crimpers to crimp. So I'll put my crimp right in the center, give it a nice squeeze, turn it into a ravioli for ravioli time. Has 4 little pinched corners. Turn it 90 degrees, place it back in there, and I give it another squeeze. And then I like to just rotate it around a few times, kind of pumping and squeezing, keeping that crimp right in the center. And that turned out so nice. And now I can trim off on this side anyway, trim off all but one of the wires. So we just need one wire sticking out to complete it. So I'm going to use a flush cutter. I'm going to come all the way down right next to that crimp and trim off 3 out of the 4 here. So now we just have one wire coming out of the crimp. Wasn't that a nice ravioli? It was a good one. It was a good one. And then on this side, I just have 2 wires. And if you're struggling with getting that crimp to crimp, you can always add in a 3rd wire just to kind of fill it up a little more. I didn't feel like I needed that the first time, but I'll just show you what that looks like if you do that. So you're just sliding in an extra piece of wire just to fill up that crimp a bit and give it a little extra to hold on to. And then you can trim off that end on that side, and you do the same thing on this side, making sure you only have 1 wire coming out through the crimp. So now we're left with our macrame in the center, 2 crimps, and 1 strand on either side. And then if you were making this into a bracelet or a necklace, you could just add your clasp on the end like you normally would with any beading wire project. So what I did here is I did 3 little delica beads on each side, and then I added another crimp and made this loop to connect to the ear wire. I tried putting the seed beads around the loop too, so that is a possibility if you want to. I just wasn't getting it to look the way I wanted. Like you were still seeing the way the wire was kind of popping out underneath. It just wasn't doing it for me. So I decided to just do the seed beads on the side and leave the loop plain wire. But you can give it a try if you prefer it to be all beaded. So I'm going to add 3 coral delica beads on one side and 3 on the other side. And then I'm going to add my crimp tube. So I add my crimp tube to one side, then I take the other side back through it, and that will create your teardrop shape. And then you take one side, it doesn't matter which one, try and hold that in place, and then you take one end back through that crimp again, creating a little loop at the top, which will attach to your ear wire. And then I'm going to hold it up to this one and just see if my loops are pretty close. Get them pretty close. And then I can slide my crimping pliers through the little loop. You can't make the loop too small because you do have to get your crimping pliers through there. And be delicate with this one because you are going to have to like kind of go in and out of that loop to close this one up. A little trickier of a crimp. And then you can go ahead once it's all crimped up, trim off your wire. Be careful not to trim my loop. Okay. And lastly, I will go ahead and attach my ear wire, and then using a chain nose, or you can even use the tip of your magical crimpers because they have a nice flat tip on there. Just open that up and attach your earring. I also thought too, like, I don't know, this will be, when you're wearing it, this will be kind of facing this way. If you wanted it to face this way, I think you just add another, like a little jump ring so that you can turn it and it would be facing the opposite direction. But I thought it worked out just fine. When I wore them, put them on, they kind of swing around so you could see them from all different directions. Super cute. I love that I finally have made some macrame earrings last week and this week because I've only ever done bracelets before. And now I have a whole new macrame obsession. So here's what it would have looked like with red, white, and blue. And I made this one a little bit smaller. I think this one was five centers, and this one is 7 centers. And I just liked the odd number because then you start and end with the same color up here. If I would have done even, then it would have ended with a different color, but that's okay too. So cute. Nope, Roberta says I wouldn't have thought to do with wire though. No, most people don't. It's not typical to do it with wire. Let me show you also real fast. I have some bracelets here that I also did. Same technique, different beads, and this one is a bracelet. So this one has like a button closure, and it's using purple and spinel or garnet wire in between, and then just beads, and then there's some little flowers like we did. So the same exact technique, just different wire, different beads, and this one's a bracelet. I think I did this one for Customer Appreciation Week 1 year. So we've got that in the customer appreciation video playlist. All right, let's choose our winner. And while we choose our winner, I will show you what was happening over here with my glazes. Let me go ahead and oh, it does look like gemstones on this one. Yeah, these are like those gem cut rondelles. So they are check glass beads, but they do look very gemmy. So pretty. Let's see how many people we got in here. We've got 68 entries. Here's your last chance to go ahead and enter with the hashtag sunset to win the sunset bead strand. And I'm going to move over some of these things I glazed over here to my table so I can show you what was happening with that. Yes, Becky, it could. Becky says, can a bracelet be made like that using pip beads? Sure. You can use pip beads on the outside and for like the little flower shape. That would totally work. Okay, here we go. So the rules with the giveaway are I'm going to go ahead and draw a name. If you see your name at the end here, you need to let me know that you're here in the comments because you must be here to win. I will give you up to 3 minutes to let me know you're here. And at that point, I will draw a new winner, and then the first winner will forfeit their prize. So get ready. If you see your name, to let me know that you are here. We've got 73 entries. Here we go. Thank you, Zach. Zach says, beautiful creation. Jeanette Carson. Jeanette Carson, are you here on Facebook? Please let me know in the comments. Let me see. While you're letting us know, or I'm going to pop down here and share some of my glazing that's happening. So the first thing I did is I glazed this bookmark with the new vintage glaze. And I don't think you're going to be able to really see a difference on camera. You can feel a difference in person. This feels more matte down here. And this is a little bit shinier up at the top, but not much. Just enough to give it like a little bit of a sheen and give it a coat. And that was using the Ultimate Paint new glaze that we've got in. She is here. Woo, woo, woo. I know you like the double strand. I added another strand. I should show that to you too. Let me see. There she is. Yay, Jeanette is here. Awesome. Please email us at info @softflexcompany.com, and we will get a bead strand out to you. Just let us know your shipping address, and we'll get your prize out. Congratulations. I did add another strand to this bookmark. We did the one strand together on video, and then I added the second one, and I added one of those little lucky cats on there. So I would say for this glaze, it's very subtle. It's more of a sealer protectant, but it's not going to change the look very much. It's just going to give you a little bit of a sheen, but nothing super shiny. I didn't do these yet, but this I tested both. So here is the vintage glaze on the bottom. Again, you just see a light sheen. So it's just giving it a nice little sealant. It's making it so that it's going to hold up to probably be more water resistant. It's probably not, I don't know if it's 100% waterproof, but it would be resistant. And I'd feel comfortable like using this with a sealer on it and that it's not going to disintegrate. But and then over here, I use the glaze, the diamond glaze, and I put it on kind of thick because I wanted to see. I know that the diamond glaze gives like a three-dimensional effect, has more of a, and I don't know if it's totally dry yet. Okay, it's pretty dry. It's pretty good to touch. Okay, I think my Wi-Fi just reset and I should be back. You hear me okay now? Still no sound. Okay, yeah. Yeah, my Wi-Fi went out. So I had to reset it and now I'm back. Okay, real quick. Let's take a look at the diamond glaze. So the diamond glaze gives it a much more like raised, super shiny, glazed feel. It's not like really smooth though. And that's partly probably me. Like I just kind of squeezed it on straight from the bottle. I didn't use anything to smooth it and make it real smooth. Maybe even just doing another coat on there would smooth it out a little bit. But that's the difference, quite dramatic difference between the two. So this is the regular glaze. I know that Vintage also has a matte, but this one just says glaze on it. So I feel like this is the considered like their gloss glaze. I know. Good thing it happened after the drawing because that always messes up the drawing when that happens. So if you don't want it to be super shiny and you just want it to be sealed and you want it to be flat and kind of almost barely there, noticeable, the glaze is the way to go. If you want it to look super shiny, if you want to try and have a three-dimensional effect, and if you want it to be a little more like a resin feel, then the diamond glaze is the way to go. And neither of them seem to really blur out any of the lettering or the words. Everything seems nice and crisp still. And I think this is just the regular glaze. It just says glaze. And so on the bookmark, I thought it was going to give it more of a gloss, but it didn't. It's just a regular glaze on there. It's not matte. It's not gloss. I feel like it's somewhere in the middle, like almost like a satin, because it's got a little bit of a sheen on there. And now I have to do these. I haven't done them yet. And now I probably prefer just the regular glaze, honestly, on this. But maybe I try the diamond glaze on the back. I don't know. I like this for certain applications, but I think for the earrings, I'd just go with this to give it a sealer and not really affect the design too much. But if I was working on something else where I really wanted that super shininess on there, then then I would go with the diamond glaze. So there's your little comparison of the two. And we still have TGBE kits. Have they gone out in shipping? Yes, they have gone out and been shipped. So if you ordered them, they are going out and being shipped. We've got about 60 of them sold out, I guess, 60% sold out. So, yeah. So you can still get them as of now if you haven't gotten one yet. But if you did order them, yes, they are shipping. All right. Yeah, I agree. It makes it look a little plasticky, which, you know, for the keychain it's not a bad look. I don't mind it for the keychain. I think it's kind of fun. And I might just go ahead and do the diamond glaze on the whole thing for the keychain, because I think it's kind of fun. And it is hardening up. I would say right now it's probably not fully cured. I only did it right before the video. So that would have been like about an hour ago. And I think it'll get harder as it cures a little more. Yes, the Peachy kit is the TGBE kit. So just Peachy is our kit for the Great Bead Extravaganza. Yes, the glaze does not get sticky over time. Nope. Nope, it dries. It's really not, it actually gets harder, I think, over time, but it doesn't get sticky at all. I don't live in a humid environment. I live in a really, really dry environment. So I don't know if that plays a part for anybody, depending on where you live. But for me, I haven't had any issues with anything being sticky. It's always kind of dried up really nicely. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I will be back on Wednesday with a beading party with our friend Rebecca Combs of Design and Adorn. She's got an awesome Kumi Hemo kit that she put together for the beading party. Go check out the event on our Facebook page, or check out the stream, the Coming Soon stream on our YouTube channel, and you can find the link there to go get her kit if you want to go order it ahead of time. But she'll be showing us a really fun Kumi Hemo project on Wednesday. So I will be back with her at 3 p.m. Pacific time. We do have a live sale this week, so join us at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday for our live sale. And then Joyce will be back on Friday at 9:30 a.m. for another episode of Spill the Beads. Thanks, everybody. Have fun. I hope you give macrame with wire a try. And as always, go ahead and share it in our Softflex VIB studio. All right. Talk to you all soon. Bye.